Hey, it's a trigger, Rich Bontrager. Welcome back to another How to Rock the Virtual Stage, where we are here to help you as a speaker, as a leader, to step up to the new virtual stage that is growing rapidly across the world. This platform is now 24/7, and my passion, my heart is to help you step up and do things new, innovative, and better than you've ever done them before, because your message is important. But the virtual stage is kind of tricky. It's relatively new to a lot of people, and I want to remove the fear and equip you to help you do this. I'm bringing in experts from different industries to help you know how to do it in your particular industry. Today, I get to bring a relatively new but old friend, sort of. We'll discuss that during our interview. But Ben Gay III has been called a living legend in the sales world. He has 40 plus years of professional selling and sales training. He has been the #1 salesperson in every organization in which he has ever worked. He's a powerful speaker, sales trainer, and author to boot. Now, one of the most famous, popular, and powerful sales trainer throughout the entire world, Ben, he only does 24 live, the closer sales trainings per year now. And by the way, he has a series called The Foundation of Professional Selling. He knows how to sell, he knows how to communicate, he knows how to step on stage. So if you're a salesman, this is your program for you today. He's the founder and the current executive director of the National Association of Professional Salespeople. Let's welcome Ben Gay III to the virtual stage. Ben, thank you for finally face-to-face. We get to meet, man.
My honor, sir. Really glad to meet you. It's funny when you flashed up on screen. I thought I was talking to an old friend. I thought, no, it's just been virtual up to now.
Yeah. Well, and that's a lot of the power of the virtual stage is that people
Sure.
now who have, like you and I, we have liked, we have shared, we have commented. People are now actually getting to see each other because this virtual stage is compelling us to do business differently. So as a salesman, let's just start there. What has this done for the sales industry? What's your thoughts on the virtual stage and sales?
Years ago, we used to get in our car and drive when I was a young manufacturer's representative and when I was working in MLM and recruiting people. We'd get in our car and drive to see them because it was more expensive to phone them, believe it or not, if they were outside of your neighborhood. So telephone selling became stronger and stronger, and I had a little difficult time getting used to it. But then it dawned on me, I didn't have to drive 50 miles to be told no. I could be told no in seconds on the phone, hit disconnect, and be talking to somebody else 30 seconds later. And I thought, oh, this is cool. Well, now with the virtual stage, you can not only be talking to somebody else in 10 seconds, you can be talking to thousands of other people in 10 seconds. If I had had the internet and the virtual stage that people enjoy today, as do you wouldn't be talking to me now as a salesman, you'd be talking to me as the benevolent dictator of the world.
No.
I can talk to more people, Rich, from my computer sitting at one of my desks today than I used to be able to talk to in a month, with a couple of, huge exceptions, big
Right.
events and so on, and easier, and I don't have to pack and I don't have to go anywhere. So for you younger people, that's anybody younger than me, which is everybody on the call, for you younger people, I'm telling you, this is as exciting as when telephones became cost effective, and more so. But as I alluded to you, Rich, right before we went on, I see so much drivel and trash in videos. Just because you have a camera doesn't mean you have to be on it every time you have a random thought. If you hold it down to good content and people see you flash up or your name and they can click here and go watch something you did, they will eagerly join you. But this morning, for instance, when I got up, I'm guessing I went through 200 emails, delete, 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 delete. And it was based on, a lot of them were videos that I could have gone to watch, but it was based on content, which was of no interest to me, based on the lead line, and or who it came from. There are people who, when I see their name, I go, oh, they found their camera again. and and now they're going to share some bizarre thought with me. And then when you click on a few, which I sometimes do out of random curiosity, they usually start out with, "Hi, I just thought I'd jump on here for a minute because I had a thought." I'm happy you had a thought. That proves you're alive. But just because you had a thought doesn't mean you jump on there and tie up my day. So in addition to presentation skills, I would suggest we learn content skills.
So let's start there for a second, but that's a great distinction. There are a lot of people, everyone's got a laptop, everyone's got a camera, everyone's got an iPhone or cell phone with a camera on it. You're right, everyone is literally jumping on right now saying, "Hi, I'm here," but they don't have the presentation and they also don't have the content. Speak to that for a second. As a salesperson, if people step up, it's not just the widget you have, it's how you present the widget, right?
Absolutely. Elmer Wheeler said, don't sell the steak, sell the sizzle, in that it has to be interesting. It has to be what's in it for me. I need to know before you tie up my time, because I live on the phone and on camera from early in the morning, sometimes to late at night. That's what I do. And if you're going to get some of my precious time, precious to me, I don't mean I'm all that special, but I only got 24 hours in a day to work with.
Yes.
If you're going to get my attention in the first few seconds, you've got to tell me that you're interesting, the subject is interesting, and what's in it for me. And if you don't do it, I know, Rich, you've seen thousands of these. You know, there's some interesting thing, you know, the world's going to end tomorrow. And I thought, well, I probably ought to check on that. And you click on it, and this voice says, in the next, after music, the intro is always longer than I want to watch the whole thing.
Yes.
And then over the music, this voice says, in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to share with you, click. It's just a matter of time until somebody has to come replace my delete key, because I use it more than anything else.
Yeah, no, so that's really important. The intro, the engagement, the hook. Speak to that as a salesperson, as a communicator. You've been on stage so many times. How do you do that? How do you teach somebody? Because we're used to playing up the crowd. There is no crowd anymore on this stage, but how do you capture that same energy, hook them in, so they stay on the video?
Well, a trick I've used on stage for years, not everybody can use this particular one because I have an unusual name, but after whoever introduces me does the intro, which I wrote, it's very good, and brings people to their feet because I was very emotionally involved in writing how wonderful I was.
I love that.
Yeah, just as I come on stage, there's a few seconds, and then I usually start to sit down. And in that little second, I say, all right, let's get this Ben Gay thing out of the way. And they roar because they were all thinking it, you know. So you need some sort of hook line. You can't use the Ben Gay joke probably, but you need some sort of hook line that jerks them up that, oh, this may be worth a few seconds of my time. Then in direct mail, and I sort of come out of that industry from years ago, sold 10 million copies of The Closers, my famous book series, part 1. We quit counting 20 years ago, so 10 million when we quit counting, with a direct mail piece, and the headline was Greed, Greed, exclamation mark. No, yellow paper, black type. No one, if we got them to open the envelope, and finally we put greed on the envelope, and that got them to open even more, no one could not go past the headline. Yeah. They had to see what it was. So in direct mail, the envelope serves two purposes. One, it keeps the contents from falling all over the street. And two, it's designed to get them to open it. When they open it, the headline is designed to get them to read the subheadline. The subheadline is designed to get them to read the first sentence, and you pull them through. And if you're really good at what you do, I've got a 12-page direct mail letter the other day, and I read every word of it because it was extremely well written and interesting. Oddly enough, when I got to the end, I didn't buy because I already had the product. but that's the secret on whether it's live on stage or on camera. Your job is to first get their attention quickly. Don't sound like everybody else. and get to it. People say, well, I can't get my message out. Well, here's an idea. Sit down and watch television, network television,
Yeah.
for a day and see how many messages they get out in 30 seconds or less. A lot of them are 15 seconds, 15, 30. A minute is a long commercial nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they can sell a brand, a product, get you to dial the 800 number or go to the website or what have you in 30 seconds, surely to God, you can explain your concept quickly up front, because that's all I want to know. Everybody should broadcast on WII. You're a radio guy. WII FM. What's in it for me?
That's perfect. Because as a broadcaster, I think we have an up leg in this. We have a little bit of a faster step understanding the virtual stage than
Sure.
many people who are just used to the other way you're describing. So as a salesperson, we all go to these conferences. We all have the great A-list speakers. You're one of those A-list speakers. How do you think this changes the platform? Is there going to be a hybrid of the A-list people? And then will there be a virtual component now that we have to figure out how to rock the stage and still sell our goods and coach?
Sure. The seminar business will come back, but it'll be a year or two before it's back to like it was. So when we return to the stage, and we will, I've given over 5,000 paid appearances over the years, we'll return, but never, I don't think, again to the level it was before. And here's why. It's not that people are going to be afraid to get on a plane. We have short memories. You know, after the airlines open back up in a few months, they'll be all jammed up and sitting on top of each other again. I got that. But a whole bunch of people have discovered they don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I had 3 seminars. My fee is $9,500 a day, or $9,500 for an appearance, but I give them a whole day if they want it. And so some canceled and said, but you know, we're doing a lot of video. I said, well, put me on video. Well, what would that cost us? And I said, well, a seminar is, for me, is 3 days of aggravation. 1 day getting there, or at least that day's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
The day of the seminar, and I never fly out right then because I don't want to be looking at my watch when I'm still supposed to be concentrating on them. So I always fly out the next day. That day's messed up. That's 3 days, $9,500. So what I did was while I was talking to the first lady, I put in 9,500 divided by 3. It came out to 3,000, blah, 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 blah. But I get to sit right where I'm here talking to you, and it messes up, and not messes up because I enjoy it, but it ties up an hour or 3 hours maximum. Nobody wants to sit and stare at a screen for 8 hours like they do live, where you can get up and go.
So when you think of all of that, the virtual stage, let's just talk about backroom sales for a second. You touched on that briefly. So much of what we do as speakers is you're on the platform, you give them just enough to give them the helps, the tips, but you also drive them to the back of the room to go get your products and get your programs.
Sure.
Virtually, now the game has changed where you don't have the back of the room table, but you kind of do. It's called your online shopping cart. How do you go from this stage to funnel them to that online shopping cart? Because I know a lot of people are struggling with, I can't shake your hand, I can't talk to you and get you to buy into it. How do you do that now, Ben?
Constant drip marketing might be a good word for it. Whenever I appear somewhere at the end of this talk, with your permission, I'll give some cheap promotional thing to tell you how to get.
You're free to do it. You're free to do it.
And how to get the closers and so on. So it's that. Then this interview will go out on the internet and be there for the next 40 years, long after I'm gone. Mm-hmm. Somebody will be watching you and me and all the other ones I've done before. So by having good content and a good presentation to start with, you begin drip marketing. This morning, when I walked in to do your interview, I was running late with some personal things. I walked into the office and I said, how many did we sell last night? And 473 books, I think it was. I was asleep. And 473 people bought books. Some of that is existing customers reordering or getting some for their salespeople. Others, they watched a video somewhere. We haven't run an ad in 25 years.
Now that's an astounding stat. When
Yeah,
we think about everything you've done to say you haven't had to do that, and now it's kind of self-populated. It just continues to
absolutely.
produce now.
And while our seminar business has gone down during this, our book selling business has gone up. I guess people have more time to read or something. It's actually increased a noticeable amount. So it's offer good content. And people say, yeah, but you've been at it for years. Well, you got to get started now
Yes.
so you can enjoy that. You plant in the spring and harvest in the fall. You don't plant in the spring and start eating that afternoon. If you haven't already, get started. Put good content out. Make it evergreen, I think is the term
Yes.
people use
Well,
now. Yeah, make it evergreen so when somebody stumbles across it, however it happens, and then promote that. People are always sharing my stuff. And when it comes back around, if enough time has passed since the first time, I share it again. It's like a whole new seminar. In result, I could probably tie up uh, time on the internet, I'm guessing 8 hours a day, 7 days a
yeah.
week, just sharing stuff I've already done.
Well, and that's where the repurposing is great. Like you said, it's evergreen. You can reproduce it. It's virtual sales 24/7. You are in bed. It's global now. The stage is not small. It's much larger. It is a global platform if you know how to funnel that in. Now, the other thing I'm curious about your take on is I think the industry is going to shift from the mega stadium arenas. The smaller venues can now get into this because they don't have to have the big venue. They can do a 200 seat and pipe in several great speakers, and smaller hotels and small arenas can finally have a great seminar. Do you think that's going to be part of the change? It's not just the big
Yeah,
stage, it's a small stage.
yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't make any difference whether it's a big stage or small stage if there are cameras there and it's getting recorded and evergreened. I love that word. I'm trying to be young and hip. Uh, if it's been
Aren't we
evergreen,
all?
yeah. And train your camera people to know how to shoot a crowd. I don't think I've ever mentioned that in any webinar I've ever done. But when you're up there going, I'm a dynamic leader, make sure that there's more than 12 people in the audience.
Yeah.
Teach them how to get that crouch down and look through the heads, even if it's the only two heads in the room. Because you can make a small event look like a big event, then put it on camera and send it out to the world. It is a big event.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's a great point. So let's go to more tips like that. What else would you say would be great tips right now for people just stepping on the virtual stage? This is so new. What other things could you say we can leverage, adapt to make things like that pop off better for them?
Well, one thing I would do is practice. That sort of precedes what you're talking about, but practice. There are so many bad speakers out there and so many bad salespeople out there. And shoot yourself. I probably, if I were just getting started in this business, let's say I was selling cars on the internet or services or whatever, I would probably shoot and review 50 presentations before I sent one out.
Yes.
And you are your own best critic. I teach public speaking seminars a couple of times a year if it fits into the 24, which I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
And as dynamic as I am and as much as I know, here's how they learn the most. I have them videotaped and
Yes.
give them a copy of what they did. And the next day, they are better because they went up to their room and thought, boy, that looks stupid.
Well, and that brings up a great point. As broadcasters, we're taught listen to your audio. When I was in radio first beginning, we had to listen to our audios. Hearing your own voice outside of your own head space is totally different, and it is scary and creepy. But you got to learn how to really listen to it to know how to use the voice and use these. On video, we need to do the very same thing. That's a great point. You have to watch yourself. You have to critique yourself. What other great finishing tips can you give us here as we wind down here today?
Care about your audience, whether it's on the internet, virtual stage, real stage, whatever. Care about them. Get out of your own way and put them first. In the closers series, we have a thing, sum tertius. I hope I pronounce that right after all these years. It's Latin for I am third. And the point is, my God is first.
Yes.
The other fellow is second. I am third. Now, that doesn't work if you're selling some sort of snake oil nonsense thing that's no good and you know it's no good.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of that. If you're not selling a quality product or service that's competitively priced and spending your time with qualified people, get out. So sell a good quality product, put your customers first. If you have a God, put your God first, your customers second, make yourself third, and develop the ability to tastefully project that. When people know that you care about them, their guards go down, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust.
That's great. That's a super way to kind of wind down our discussion. Ben Gay the third. He is the trainer of all trainers for sales. This guy knows everything. I hope everyone has loved hearing what he has to say. He's got a lot more. He's got books, materials. Again, the foundations of professional selling is amazing. And Ben, what would we do to direct people back to you? What can we do to help people know, reach out, learn more, get more from you?
Well, here's my high-tech presentation. What you're looking for is the Closers series, the best-selling, most popular, most powerful series of sales training material ever produced, bar none. Other books may be more popular this week. They'll fade away. When they fade away, we're all back to the Closers again. It's the Bible of the modern sales professional industry. You can go to my website, www.bfg3, and buy it, but don't. Go there and register so we can stay in touch. But here's what I want you to do if you're interested. Down here on this line, go to stores.ebay.com/Ronzoni Books, RONZONE Books, BOOKS. They feature the Closers there with special pricing and free shipping. It's less expensive to buy from them from me.
Again, we will have all that information on the description down below. We'll also let you know how to find him on LinkedIn. He's great to follow, always wonderful content. Ben, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you. And wonderful to finally meet face-to-face after all the likes, shares, comments we have put together. Great to have you here on the virtual stage.
My honor and pleasure, Rich. Thank you very much.
That's going to do it for this edition of How to Rock the Virtual Stage. Remember, we're here to help you, and we want you to get the best resources you can. Follow us on Facebook. Join us on our Facebook community page. And, of course, if you need a free consult, 15-minute free consult, reach out to me, and I'll help you rock the virtual stage in whatever industry you are in. Until next time, for Ben Gay, I'm the Trigger, Rich Bontrager. Have a great day.